Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope all of you have had a great week and I hope you're looking forward to a fantastic weekend, everybody. This is a members chat class. To join the chat, you need to be a member. Of course, everybody's welcome to watch. Lots of learning to be had. We are going to be looking at an IELTS Task 2 writing about money versus time, or I should say the importance of money versus time. Welcome, Sarah, our chat moderator. Nice to see Fuang, Yanni, Silviana, our members in the class ready to learn. Students, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Visit us there for general IELTS. Check us out at gieltshelp.com. These are the websites that have all of our HD video lessons, strategies, our practice exams, audio materials for the listening. By the way, we have a listening class coming up after this class, which will be for subscribers. So make sure to subscribe so that you can join the next class chat. The academic IELTS website looks like this at aehelp.com. You can join our premium IELTS package by clicking the big red button there just above my head. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. And we are an IDP affiliate, British Council partner, IELTS Test Registration Center. I'm a certified British Council agent, so you're in great hands with us. We train thousands of IELTS students every month to succeed on their IELTS exams. For general IELTS, it's gieltshelp.com. It's this green background here. Again, just click that big red button there. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. When you click the red button, you fill out the form and you're good to go. Here's a discount code for today, Skill 9. Will get you a 10% discount on the website. The price is different in different countries, so check it out. It's matched to your local economy. That way we can help as many students as possible. All right, welcome Andrew, Raquea. Nice to see more students joining in. Hi Carolina, good to have both of our moderators in the class today. By the way, moderators, I highly encourage you to join in on the writing fun as well. All right, students, apps, yes, we have them. You can get them from your app store, Academic IELTS Help, General IELTS Help. Download the apps, link them to your web accounts for integrative learning. Sorry, you can also visit our Instagram profiles, IELTS_AE Help, GIELTS Help. On Instagram, we post vocabulary tips, tricks for IELTS, so check that out. And if you have questions, send me an email. My email is adrian@aehelp.com or admin@aehelp.com. Either one of those will work. Amazon has books for you from us. AE Helps Academic IELTS or GE Helps General IELTS. All right, students, again, as I've mentioned, we've got two classes for you today. Right now, Task 2, writing, and then listening, Part 1 and Part 2. Tomorrow we'll have speaking, Part 2, and speaking, Part 3. Okay. One last bit of helpful information to kick off the class. Always we have these weekly HD releases. We've got this one for you right now. I'm going to put this into the chat. The link, if you're looking at the chat, it's there for you. This is a speaking video for you to practice your speaking. All right, let's get into writing. So IELTS writing, we're doing academic writing. So this is, let's call it academic IELTS. Task 2, but really there's not much difference between the academic and the general, if any. Both the academic and the general Task 2 writing is an essay. This is because essay writing is a very, very common part of the education system in English-speaking countries. It's a very common part of university studies, regardless of whether you're learning arts, natural sciences, medical degree. It's pretty much guaranteed that you're going to be doing some essay writing. And of course, the essay writing task 2, it's called persuasive essay writing, where you have to convince your reader of your ideas. Related, of course, or directly related, I should say, to the question that you're being asked, right? It's also testing your kind of critical thinking, your logic. So how well can you interpret the question? How well can you plan an answer that's accurate? And how convincing can you be for your reader? So it's testing this kind of thinking. One of the commonly unknown facts about the IELTS exam is that it's not just an English exam. It is testing your ability to think. Okay, so your thinking ability, which of course is learned as well and improved through practice. Okay, so your step number 1 is always to read the question carefully. Okay, read the question. The reason I say that, like some of you are probably like, really, why are you telling me this, Adrian? Of course I'm going to read it carefully. Yes, but in the real exam, sometimes what happens is candidates are rushing by the time they get to the writing section, because it's the third part of your IELTS sitting exam. Okay, of course, speaking is done separately. So the writing comes at around hour 2, like you're 2 hours into the test, and it comes after the reading section. And a lot of students have this sense of urgency that they're being rushed by the time they get to the writing, which is kind of ironic. And I think this is one of the reasons that IDP in India was testing a different structure for the IELTS, to have the writing before the listening section, because IELTS recognizes this as well. I think that, a lot of candidates, they have this sense of urgency or rush by the time they get to the writing section. And it's actually the part of IELTS where you want to be the most patient, ironically. So you want to really take your time to understand the question and think about your answer before you start writing. Because when you have good ideas and good information in your head and you have a good plan, then your writing becomes faster, smoother, more accurate, more convincing. And of course, that leads to a better band score. So rushing into a task 2 essay is definitely ill-advised. So I highly recommend against it. Okay, so read the question carefully, think critically about it, and really plan your essay. Okay, you need to excuse me, just getting over this nasty cough still. So you really need to practice doing this effectively in 3 to 5 minutes. Okay, 3 to 5 minutes is a fair bit of time before you sit your IELTS exam. Members, just a quick question, throwing it out there for you. How many of you regularly practice 1 to 2 task 2 essays each week, whereby you plan your essay carefully before you write your essay? So just let me know. I'm just curious how many people are really kind of following this pattern of careful planning and weekly practice. Andrew says at least 1 every day. Okay, Andrew, that's very good. Yeah, so daily practice, that's certainly a very effective way to make quick improvements. Okay. All right, so let's get into this question. So IELTS writing task 2, You should spend about 40 minutes on this task. Definitely spend 40 minutes on the task. Spend 20 minutes on task 1, spend 40 minutes on task 2. That should be your goal, okay? That's the time that you should spend. Okay, Raquea says not trying regularly. Raquea, you got to try regularly. All right, here we go. So many people feel that earning a lot of money is the most important goal in life, while others believe that having more time to do what a person wishes is the main objective. What do you think is more important, money or time? Support your answer with explanations and examples from your own experience. Write at least 250 words. Okay. So to really make sure that we understand this question, we want to paraphrase it. Sylviana, once a week is not bad. Okay. Fong says, I try to write task 2 in 1 hour, but it lasts 2 hours. All right, Fong. Well, you need to pick up the pace for sure. Fong, and for those of you who are practicing your English touch typing, rapidtyping.com. Although I did just download an app as well for my younger daughter to get her going on touch typing, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's a good little app, and it's for next class or for next time. Maybe I'll try to look it up for next class, but you can find it. There's a few different apps that are really good. They're free, and they teach you to touch type, okay? All right, so check that out when you have a minute. So Fwang, if you have a bit of time later today, tomorrow, definitely check out the rapidtyping.com. It's a good one if you're using a PC. And like I said, there's a few different apps now out there as well that are very good. Okay. All right. So let's paraphrase this. So when you're at home, you should paraphrase it. And I even recommend paraphrasing in the real exam. Now, paraphrasing the question is not necessarily the start to your essay, but it might become a part of your essay at some point. It could be used even as late as the conclusion, okay? So paraphrasing the question brings good vocabulary to your essay, and it will also help you to think deeply. So it will get your brain really thinking about it. Don't just assume that your brain automatically is able to recall all of the critical information on a topic just because you read the question, okay? So paraphrase the question, and that means write it in your own words. Ideally, you should have about 70% word replacement, and you can paraphrase using synonyms, grammar, antonyms, negatives, expressions, phrasal verbs. So there are a lot of techniques. Once again, students, if you're not sure about how to paraphrase or the different ways of paraphrasing, sign up for the premium package at aehelp.com. Go to your My Student account. Open up the full online interactive course. And I believe it's Key Strategies Part B here that you go to. And let me see if I can find the right slide. This one's critical thinking. Then it will probably be Key Strategies C, which is maybe paraphrasing, that one. Yes, there's paraphrasing. So why you need to paraphrase, and then this will give you all of the different techniques for paraphrasing. So you can see here, like one way to paraphrase is with a synonym. And here's the example, like big and large, okay? And then you can also paraphrase with antonym negative, like stay, don't go. You can also paraphrase with idioms, like to be on the same page, to understand the same idea. So there's more, there's grammar and more. So check out that section of your premium IELTS package about paraphrasing if you're not 100% sure how to do that or you haven't seen that yet, okay? All right, so we're going to do that. We're going to paraphrase this question. And members, if you already know some of this information, like what's in your course, you should be paraphrasing while I'm showing everybody where to find that and where to do that, okay? So you can try to get ahead, because as you know, these writing classes start to move pretty fast once we get into the introduction, body, paragraphs, conclusion. So work ahead, okay? So I'm going to paraphrase here. A lot of individuals instead of many people. Okay. Ascertain. Ascertain is a nice academic word that means to believe or to argue, to feel. That instead of earning a lot of money, that making much money. Money is a bit difficult to paraphrase, so that's probably a word that I would keep. Okay. So a lot of individuals ascertain that making much money, but you could really stretch it and say that, you know, many individuals ascertain that financial wealth, for example. So wealth, especially financial wealth, because wealth is not necessarily just money, right? We could have emotional wealth, for example, but you could say financial wealth, and that way we talk about money again, right? So a lot of individuals ascertain that making much money is the key objective throughout a lifetime instead of in life. However, opponents to this belief argue that having time for doing what one likes is paramount. Okay? Paramount is a nice word to say the most important. Okay? So there's a nice piece of vocabulary for you. When you see new vocabulary, write it down, okay? Write it down right away. Don't wait till the end of the class if possible. Don't think, okay, I'll do that once it's all finished. No, write it down or underline it or highlight it. So it might be worth, you know, going old school and having a piece of paper, pen, highlighter with you during these live classes so that you can write down some of these keywords, okay? Ira, welcome back to our membership. Nice to have you back in the group. All right. So what do you think is more important? So which do you feel is the key to life, let's say? And then back up your ideas or back up your argument with your own past and give details. Sure. Okay. All right. So that is my, I'd say it's at least a 90% paraphrase from the original. Now, when you're at home and you're doing this, I highly recommend reading the original question, then reading your paraphrase before going any further, okay? This way you guarantee yourself that you understood the question and that you're on the right topic. It might sound silly or strange for many of you, but the most common mistake for both high-level and lower-level English candidates on the IELTS is actually going off topic in their essay. So not writing correctly about the question throughout the essay. So some students will go off topic right away in the introduction because they misunderstood the question. And then other candidates, they understood the question, they will kind of be on the right topic to start the essay, but then they'll go off topic in the body paragraphs or especially in the conclusion. So you really have to make sure that your essay focuses on the topic from start to finish. Okay, that's a very, very important tip, everyone. To get those higher band scores, okay? So here we go. Many people feel that earning a lot of money is the most important goal in life, while others believe that having more time to do what a person wishes is the main objective. What do you think is more important, money or time? Support your answers with explanations and examples from your own experiences. A lot of individuals ascertain that making much money is the key objective throughout a lifetime. However, see, I noticed that I had the wrong word form there. So instead of object, it's objective. Throughout a lifetime, however, opponents to this belief argue that having time for doing what one likes is paramount. And then I missed a part here. I just realized there's this other part here of what do you think is more important, time or money, which is vital. Financial wealth or time. Not really a lot of ways to paraphrase time, but maybe some of our members will come up with some ideas around that. Which do you feel is the key to life? Back up your argument with your own past and give details. All right, now I've got a good paraphrase, see? So it's always good to check. All right, Jatinder. Lovely. Let's see what you have for us. This is Jatinder's paraphrase here. And Jatinder says certain individuals ascertain that earning huge remuneration, remuneration is okay. It's like the money you get for doing something or for doing work, is the prime aim in life, is the prime objective, is the collocation, Jatinder, is prime objective in life. Conversely, you need at least a comma on both sides of this when you use it like this. Notice how for me, when I did the however, I used a semicolon comma. That's okay, or you can use a comma and a comma, okay? So conversely, others believe that having a good time is more essential than cash. All right, there's a way to paraphrase money, cash, right? Sure. Okay, and then Jatinder, you need the rest here, right? So this is just the first part, but you've got the main part. I do recommend paraphrasing the entire question. Phuong. Let's see what Phuong has. Phuong writes, a lot of individuals believe that making a bunch of money, a bunch of millions of dollars doesn't make sense. It's either a bunch of money or millions of dollars. Okay? And Phuong, you can quantify. It's a smart move. So instead of saying a lot of money, you can say millions of dollars. I think these days most people are quite clear that in many places in the world, you basically need to make $1 million and fast to live a fairly comfortable life. Okay? Certainly in my part of the world where I live in Western Canada, we're talking millions of dollars because here a basic family home costs over $1 million in Victoria, where I live. And I know in many parts of the world, that's not an unrealistic number for a home these days. Okay, so a lot of individuals believe that making millions of dollars is the most vital purpose in life. Conversely, others claim that spending more hours to make wishes into reality is more important. Sure, or critical. Phuong, it's really good paraphrasing. Notice how Phuong split the one sentence into two sentences. So Phuong put a period here after life and then started a new sentence with conversely. That works, okay? It is absolutely okay to do that. So that's grammatical paraphrasing and it's good, all right? Romelia, let's see what you have here. Romelia writes, some people may believe that having a lot of money is important because it gives them financial security and the ability to pursue their passions and goals. Romelia, you're kind of answering a part of the question here. So keep this in mind, students. When you're paraphrasing, you must not give opinion, but you need to retain the same information. And it's kind of like, you know, you might be thinking, Romelia, you might be thinking, well, why not? Why not like start thinking about possible answers of why some people start to focus on money? There's an answer to that. So anybody know why we why it's not always a good idea to jump to answers as soon as we read the question, why it's better to just paraphrase without too much opinion. So what do you think about that? This is a really good question for everybody here. It's a thinking question. So why is it often not a good idea to jump to answers as soon as you read a task 2 question, but to paraphrase, identify topic, controlling idea or ideas, and then go to critical thinking about the positions and arguments. So why do you think that I would suggest that? So why would I say, even though you have this short 40-minute time limit, my recommendation is don't jump to an answer right away. What do you think? Why do you think? Okay. Yeah, exactly. Look at what Rajveer says. Okay. So this is what Rajveer says. A long-time member. You can tell by his gold badge. That's awesome, Rajveer. Rajveer says, this way we will pigeonhole our thinking. Yes, it's true. That is the number one reason why you shouldn't do it. There's a couple of reasons, but that's definitely the number one reason. Now, Rajveer very cleverly knows the expression or the word pigeonhole. Pigeonhole means to restrict into a narrow field. Okay, so pigeonhole is a small hole. It means that you're not able to see the global picture, and you restrict your thinking because you take the first thought that comes to mind and then you focus on that thought, and afterwards it's difficult to escape that thought and come up with some other potentially very clever ideas. So that's why you want to just keep your mind open, keep it broad, and then as you go through the steps, you can think of different elements, think outside the box, and then potentially put together a much more convincing essay with even maybe some original ideas that will, sound very good for the examiner. All right. There's certainly no denying that if an examiner reads an essay which presents not necessarily unique ideas, but ideas from unique perspectives that are convincing, it's going to get high marks, okay? So content is king, okay? And candidates that can come up with clever answers, and I don't mean come up with some really difficult or tricky, or you're not writing a master's thesis for the IELTS, but if you can come up with clever answers or present arguments in clever ways, these will likely score better. Okay, there's no denying that an essay which stands out from the rest will score better as long as the grammar and the language is good. Okay, so even if you have an essay that's written quite well, but it sounds very generic, it's not going to do so well. So you don't want to pigeonhole yourself. Okay, that's why you want to avoid answering the reasons or even worrying about thinking about the reasons right away, right? Okay. Does that make sense, everybody? So Rajveer definitely had a good answer there. You don't want to pigeonhole yourself, okay, by giving the answer. Okay, which brings us to step 2. So step 2. Identify the topic and controlling ideas. Okay, I can see that a lot of people are giving me a thumbs up, so that's good. Yeah, and you can go through these steps quite fast once you practice it, so keeping the open mind and then jumping more towards answers. So identifying the topic and controlling idea or ideas is your next step. So in this case, what is the topic? So what are we talking about? And you should be able to figure this out pretty quick from the question. So many people feel that earning a lot of money is the most important goal in life, while others believe that having more time to do what a person wishes is the main objective. What do you think is more important, money or time? So what's the topic? What are we talking about? Okay. All right. So what are we talking about here, students? I don't want to give you this answer. It's there. It's fairly obvious. The question here is, what are we talking about? What are we discussing? All right. Romelia says money versus time dilemma. Money, tongue got tied. The money versus time dilemma. Not quite, Romelia. Domenico says work-life balance. Not quite. Sylviana says priority in life. Not quite. You want to be very accurate. Okay, so keep that in mind. You need to be very accurate. Okay, and I'm not saying I'm always very accurate. It doesn't matter. You need to be very accurate. So the author needs to be very accurate. Okay, you need to be very accurate with this. Okay. So keep that in mind. It can't be just kind of right. It needs to be absolutely right for good writing. Okay. Okay, Jatinder, very good. That's it. Rajveer, they're very good. That's it. So if you're looking at Rajveer and Jatinder's answer, they have them. So Rajveer says it's the most important goal in life, the most vital aim of life. Yes. Life's main goal is what we're discussing here. Right? Or life's main objective. Does everybody agree that that would be the most accurate identification of the topic? Life's main objective. So what are we talking about? What is this question asking us? Life's main objective. And this is another reason, by the way, why we don't want to jump to answers, because if we start thinking about the answers, it can actually derail us from thinking about the right topic and controlling ideas. Okay? So does everybody agree that this question targets the most important goal in life? So many people feel that earning a lot of money is the most important goal in life, while others feel that having more time to do what a person wishes is the main objective. Yes. Okay. Miles says the choices are between money and time. Carolina agrees. That's good. Okay. These are very important skills, by the way, for university that I'm teaching you, everybody. So when you get to university and you're doing your major, these tips that I'm giving you will save you a lot of time and headache and having to rewrite essays. So pay really careful attention, okay? All right. So we're talking about the life's main goal. Okay. So now we can think about the controlling idea or ideas. And now many of you are probably thinking, oh yeah, of course, that makes sense. Then the controlling idea is money supersedes time as life's goal, or vice versa. Okay, the other way around, vice versa, right? So controlling idea, money supersedes time as life's goal, or vice versa. All right, well, now we can think a bit more critically about it, right? So what is the main goal in life then, right? So what does that mean? What does it mean to have life's main goal? What does that mean for you? Okay, I'm going to pick up some speed here. If you're confident and you know what you're doing, then just kind of try to shut out what I'm saying and do it on your own. And then you can maybe even mute YouTube while you're doing it, and then try to see if it matches with what I'm doing, and hey, we can debate it. Maybe it's different. It's author's choice, right? Not all of the information is going to match. As long as we can convince our reader that that's what it is, that's the definition, then we're doing a good job. It's somewhat subjective, right? So for those of you who feel confident, do it that way. If you're not sure what's going on, just watch me go through these steps of critical thinking, okay? Now, in the real test, of course, all of this is happening inside of your head. And again, these steps are just the logical steps to essay planning, okay? All right, so I'm going to jump right in, and I'm going to go on to step 3, which is critical thinking. And it's asking what, why, how about the topic and the controlling ideas, okay? So all right, so let's do that. Okay, so what does it mean to have life's main goal? So I'm just going to, in my head, I'm basically brainstorming here, and I'm putting onto paper what's going through my head, okay? All right, so my answer to this question, it's to have an idea which is persistent throughout a person's life from teenage years, maybe even childhood, until retirement or beyond, into which a person invests the most most of their time and energy. Okay. Why is it important to have a main goal in life? Okay. And my answer here, again, you can give your own answers. All right, so why is it important to have a main goal in life? To stay motivated and to have a sense of fulfillment and happiness, okay? Okay, and how can this be achieved? Okay, and here I go by... All right. Excuse me. Okay. So here we go. How can this be achieved? Well, it can be achieved in many ways. I don't think there's just one way to do it. By identifying a prime objective. So by identifying what a person loves to do, that gives them a sense of accomplishment or fulfillment, that consistently brings joy to a person throughout life, joy and accomplishment. To a person throughout life, such as building a business, making a lot of money, spending much time with loved ones, doing artwork, okay, are some different ways. All right, so now the next one, right? So here are the controlling ideas. And before I get there, let's see if some of our members have given some answers to these questions. Okay. Macrand, welcome to our membership. Nice to have you on board. All right, Mal says, human lifespan has a very limited time and choices are vast and should not be taken lightly. One of those goals are between time and money. Both are important and both are necessary for survival. Okay, Mal, I'm not sure where you're going with that. I think you need to focus your thinking a bit. Fuang says humans have more motivation to gain success in both work and study. Do you mean that's the top, or that's the what is the primary goal in life? I'm not 100% sure. Rajveer says it means to have an aspiration from childhood to later parts of life, putting efforts in to achieve it. Yes, Rajveer, that definitely is sufficient for answering the question, what does it mean to have? So what I'm looking for right now, everybody, so I don't lose you, is this one here. What does it mean to have life's main goal? So James says it is vital because people have to target to pursue without misdirection. Okay, so that answers, I think, the why question, James. So why is it important to have a main goal in life? Mal says this could be activities through soul searching, self-observation, and asking questions. So that's how we can achieve it. Sure. Okay. Oh no, Domenico, I don't have a cold anymore. This is the end of it. I had one over the past few days when I wasn't doing live classes. My voice was terrible, but I'm good now. Or getting to that anyway. All right, so good. Now again, in the real IELTS exam, you you don't really have time to write down this much detail in your notes, but you need to think about all of these questions and answers before you put your pen to your paper. Okay, so controlling ideas, what does it mean to have money as the main goal in life? Okay. So that's the question, and it's very important, okay, that everybody understands that asking the right questions is the trick to great essays, okay? It's not giving the right answers, because giving the right answers will come when you can identify the right questions. So identifying the best questions is the real trick to writing a great essay. Okay, everybody's on the same page as me with that. That's a really important piece of advice there. Okay, oftentimes, and we hear this, but oftentimes, people think, oh, coming up with a great answer, that will come. That comes naturally when you come up with a great question. So coming up with great questions, and this is not me telling you, this is the ancient Greeks. The ancient Greek philosophers that arguably are the founders of modern day philosophy and science came up with this. They said, ask the right question. Don't worry about the answer. Okay. So the right question here is, what does it mean to have money as the main goal in life? It means, based on, I think, what Rajveer said as well, to invest the most amount of time and effort into making a lot of money, a lot of cash. Okay. Why does a person have this as a main goal? Okay, so why does a person have making money as a main goal? Now, this is an interesting question. Try to answer this one, students. So why does a person have this concept of let's make a ton of money as the main goal? Exactly, Sarah. We have to know the question to be able to answer it, right? Andrew says the right question comprises 50% of the answer. Mal says, yes, what are the right questions? Exactly, right? And that's where you need to go through the step-by-step kind of process of thinking, right? So why does a person have making money as the main goal? Yes, Romelia, that's right. To have a very high level of recognition in society as being powerful and successful. Right? That's usually the main goal. Okay? And how does a person achieve this? Okay? By using much of their time and energy into building businesses, doing labor, investing money. Okay, for example, that's how a person does this, right? So here, money is the goal. Now, keep in mind, if you're thinking, well, they want to make a lot of money so they can buy a lot of products, that's not necessarily true. People who make a lot of money don't really focus so much on buying a lot. They focus a lot on earning. That's a common misconception. If we want to buy a lot of things, then making money is not our main objective. Then buying a lot of merchandise or goods and services is our main objective. When making money is the main objective, then making a lot of money is the main objective, right? There's a very interesting difference there, right? Okay, so here then we get into what is making time for personal interests the main objective in life mean? So what does making time for personal interests as the main objective in life mean? Okay. So here we get into a little bit of a different sphere of thinking, right? So now we're kind of at the point of, okay, well, that's a bit different, right? So this means that spending as little time as possible for sustenance needs, while spending as many hours as possible on hobbies and interests. Okay, so sustenance needs, by the way, this collocation here, pay attention. Sustenance needs are your needs for life, like food, shelter, warmth, okay? Nutrition, shelter, warmth. So that's what you need to survive. Okay, so again, always learn new vocabulary. All right. Why would a person, so why does a person focus on this as their life goals? Okay. Well, they might focus on this as their life goals because they are interested in a variety of activities which brings joy to life and accomplishment. Okay. All right. And how does this happen? Okay. Through using a maximum number of hours a day doing chosen activities like socializing, art, exercise, and reading, let's say, learning, right? Okay, so this is me brainstorming. You might not have the same answers as me, students, so I'm not saying, okay, you need to have this exact same ideas as me. I'm just kind of walking you through my pattern of thinking with the what, why, how about the topic, okay, and the controlling idea. Okay, so topic, what, why, and how, and then the controlling ideas, what, why, and how. Okay. All right. Now that this seems like a lot, like you're probably like, oh, this is a lot to do before I'm even writing my introductory paragraph. Welcome, Superb. Welcome, Karthik. Welcome, Shayna. Nice to have so many new members joining in the membership today. That's fantastic. You're making some smart decisions for your learning. Jump right in there, by the way, so join the chat. Okay, I see Superb Videos says to survive is the meaning of sustenance needs. Indeed, Superb Videos. Okay, so once you have this, right, then based on this thinking, you can make your decision. Okay, so this is your next step. So this would be step 4 in this case. So make your decision and compose your thesis. With 2 clear points. Okay? So, do I think that making money is the most important goal in life? Or is it having time to do what I want? Now here, I've realized something interesting, by the way. I'm not sure if everybody realized this, but I realized this. So what if my main interest in life is to make money, right? Like some people's passion becomes making money. That's what drives them. That's what motivates them. That's what makes them happy. Seeing their bank account go bigger and bigger is what brings a sense of accomplishment for them in life. However, when I think critically about this question, I feel that choosing the money option for me personally is going to be a more difficult essay to complete. So I'm going to go with having time. Okay, so there's my statement. So my choice here basically is, okay, having time is the most important goal in life, right? Now, I have to answer this why question, right? Okay, so why is having time the most important goal in life? And I have to think about 2 points. Okay, and then that will equal my thesis statement. All right. Okay, so why is it? Now let's see if anybody has Shayna, thanks for renewing. Yeah, nice to have you back on board. All right. So let's see if anybody has a thesis statement. If you have a thesis statement, put it up there. I'm trying to give you a little bit of a head start because having a good thesis statement and being able to come up with a good thesis statement is absolutely critical to good essay writing, okay? Coming up with a good thesis statement takes practice, and unfortunately a lot of IELTS courses and IELTS teachers avoid this, which is terrible, and they just tell students to use like a template thesis. Like in this essay, I will discuss the reasons that time is the most important goal in life. And it's like, yes, okay, we know that that's what's going to happen. So you have to have a good thesis. You have to have good direct points, 2 points of why, okay? All right, let's see. So Andrew says, while money can undoubtedly bring a sense of accomplishment, having time to devote to family and pursue hobbies is far more preferable. Okay, good. I like it. So Andrew, basically you're going to argue that family time and hobby time is a better objective, okay? Romelia says, to debate whether money or time is more important in life is subjective and depends on individual perspectives, as both play a significant role in ensuring personal happiness and fulfillment. I agree with you, Romelia, but you're not answering the question. Which is more important? So which do you think is more important? Don't sit on the fence. So don't be either one, because it has no value for the reader. In real life, I would not choose to read an essay that says both are important, simply because it's not exciting, okay, for the reader. It's kind of weird, like we want all this equality and this sense of like everything has positives and negatives in life. But then if we approach life in this way, then we really don't move forward. Then we're just always sitting on the fence, right? So that's the great irony of our humanity, is that we have to choose. Because if we don't choose, then we become inactive, we become incapacitated, right? So Romelia, while you have a good point, choose one, argue for one. If you had to decide right now, you're going to spend the rest of your life making tons and tons of money, or you're going to spend the rest of your life finding ways to free your time so that you can travel to England, do what you want, which would you choose and why? Right? So think about that. All right. Ira says, I personally believe that having more time creates more happiness than having abundant money, but not having time for ourselves. Ira, don't use contractions like don't. It's do not. Okay. And watch the grammar there at the end. It's a little bit off. Chayani says, although collecting financial needs have a big impact in life, this is not essential for human prosperity. I believe that sacrificing time for sustenance needs is critical. Okay, Yanni, I'm a little bit confused of where you're going with that as well, so you need a bit more clarity. This is where peer review is very useful, students. So having each other's opinions on your thesis statements is a really good idea, okay? Fuang says, although a lot of individuals have the thinking that making millions of dollars is vital in life, I strongly believe that time is priceless and money is not, since time will pass and we must spend it. Okay, all right. So I'll write my thesis statement. Again, there are a lot of different thesis statements that can work here. It's opinionated, but at the end of the day, your goal is to make a great argument that will impress the examiner or impress your reader, okay, simply put. So I believe that money is a tool and not a goal in life. However, having time to fulfill one's desires is the main objective, because it leads to, well, I'm going to do it a little bit different. The order of points is very important. You're going to see what I'm doing here. I was going to say it leads to happiness, but I'm going to keep that as my second point, because the amount is unknown, and the happiness is relevant. All right. So this is my thesis statement so far. I believe that money is a tool and not a goal in life. However, having time to fulfill one's desires is the main objective because the amount is unknown and the happiness is relevant. Okay, so here you're probably going, oh, okay, what is this, right? Does it intrigue you? Does it make you want to read the rest of my essay, right? So the amount is unknown is going to be my first point, and happiness is relevant is going to be my second point here. So this will become my body paragraph 1, and this will become my body paragraph 2 in relation to time and money. Okay. All right. And this is my argument. So not everybody has to agree. Somebody might say, hey, money is more important because money can buy happiness, for example, right? So if I had to, I could write about money as well, but I prefer to write about time. For me, I feel like it's a little bit easier. All right. Okay. So what I'm hoping is that what my thesis statement accomplishes is it gives a sense of direction to the reader and a desire to find out more. Okay? Then you have a successful thesis. All right? Yeah, Andrew says the amount is unknown. Andrew, you're going to, right? You want to read about that, Andrew. What do you mean the amount is unknown? None of us know how much time we have. My last day on earth, hopefully not. Could be tomorrow, could be today, right? So we all make this assumption that we'll live to 80. Yeah, nobody gave us a contract when we came onto the earth that said, you're going to live to 97 years and 4 months, right? So the time that we have on earth is unknown. So every minute is critical. So living every minute the way that we want to live it and what we want to do in many ways is absolutely vital because we don't know what our last minute in life would be. And as scary of a thought as that is, it is reality. And we know that by the time we're adults and we've lost loved ones and we've lost friends and acquaintances, right? So Sarah says, well, with a contract, living will be easier. That's right, Sarah, but that contract, as far as I know, does not exist. Okay. Andrew says, how much time we have is a great topic for another essay. All right. Okay. So here we go, students. So this is my thesis. Now that you have a little bit more insight, you're like, oh, okay, that could be interesting to read. So now we can get into the introduction, body paragraphs, conclusion, right? So let's tackle the essay, okay? So introduction. Introduction has a hook, has the background, and has a thesis. This is standard English essay writing, okay? The hook is an interesting statement. It includes the topic. It catches the reader's attention. Now, you know, when you get into advanced literature, there are variations to an introductory paragraph. But the most basic, and for the IELTS, you don't need to overthink it. You need to, you know, be effective. Just stick to the standard, the basic, right? So hook, background, thesis, hook, background, thesis, okay? When you get into advanced literature, and depending on what kind of essay you're writing or literary piece, yes, there are variants, and yes, you can do it in different ways. But for the IELTS, I recommend just sticking with the fundamentals. You can get absolutely a band 9. In fact, it's the easiest way to get a band 9 is just sticking to the standard format of literature, persuasive writing, hook, background, thesis. And your hook should not be a question. In some rare cases, you know, there are, but it shouldn't be a question. It shouldn't be a quote. It should be your own words, your own thoughts, and it should be a statement. Okay. So interesting fact introduces the topic, catches the reader's attention. All right, so here, money versus time, the main objective in life. How can I hook my reader? What kind of statement can I make, right? So, whether a person chooses to make money or spend their time as they wish is likely one of the greatest dilemmas for every individual. All right. Yeah, I think a lot of us feel this pressure, gosh, especially these days with the recession that's going on globally, right? People feel even more pressure to sacrifice their free time and to try to make more money so that they can feed their families, they can keep doing what they like. So perhaps more now than in the last few decades, for sure. So whether a person chooses to make money or spend time as they wish is likely one of the greatest dilemmas for every individual in life. All right. Now that hook is honestly a little bit longer than I like. I usually like to keep my hooks to 10, 12 words. This is a bit more. This is probably closer to 20 words here. But it's okay. As long as you can make sure it's clear and all of the words, you don't want to make mistakes in the first sentence, it's fine. All right. And here, this is kind of a paraphrase of the question as well, right? So here I've kind of taken that approach. Andrew writes for the hook. By the way, students, look at each other's writing. So look at the chat. You have some good ideas, right? So I'm just one person. Andrew says the hook. Perhaps every working adult has faced the situation where they had to decide work overtime to work an extra dollar or go home to enjoy a favorite pastime. I like it. You present a factual situation, right? That people can empathize with. That makes for a very good hook, Andrew. Again, yours is a bit long also. IELTS, you want to keep it short and accurate. But as long as you are certain that you're, correct grammatically and you've got good spelling, it's fine. And it's a very good one. Creating empathy with your hook is a very good idea. And I think you've done that very well, Andrew. So thumbs up. Yeah, because many of us have had that situation. Should I work another couple hours, make another couple dollars, or should I just go home and kick up my feet and give myself a little bit of me time, right? Romelia writes, money and time are two of life's most precious commodities, but when it comes to choosing between the two, the debate is endless. Ooh, Romelia, I like it. As the introduction to this topic, it's lovely, Romelia. Very good hook. I love it. Okay. Fuang, with the bustle and hustle nowadays, more and more people have paid attention to their productivity in working as well as their valuable time. Okay, Fuang, almost. It's a little bit confusing of a hook. So I think you have a good start there. I would finish the sentence a bit differently, Fuang. Maybe something like, with the bustle, I wouldn't even do the bustle and hustle, just hustle. With the hustle nowadays, more and more people pay attention to choosing between time and money. That's what I would do. Because we are, right? We're so overwhelmed with information, with technology, with work, with money, with economic issues, health issues, that we're more often starting to debate on, am I making the right decisions? Should I move to the countryside and to a small bungalow and live a simpler life where I just have more time for family, right? So yes, Fuang, I think you're on the right track. I would just change the end of it. Miles says, this is a strange concept. No one knows how much we have of it. We cannot catch it, and we cannot tell for sure where it comes from. But one thing we can agree with, that time could be spent much like money. Too philosophical, Mal. If we're writing a book or a long essay and we're doing it for a philosophy class in university, maybe. Definitely not for the IELTS, not for those 300 words that you're about to write, okay? It's too conceptual, too philosophical, all right? So for the IELTS students, you do have to keep in mind that you've got 40 minutes and you've got about 300 words. 250 is the absolute minimum, okay? You should be aiming a bit higher. You should be aiming 300, 350. But you got to keep that in mind, all right? All right, Yanni. With hectic schedules, most people focus either on making more money or on time. Chayani, I just corrected that as I was reading it. With hectic, not during the hectic, with hectic schedules, most people focus on either making more money or having more time, period. That's it, okay? Then you're on the right track, right? Okay, now background. What are we talking about here, right? So let's define it, all right? Let's define it, all right? So in most cases, yeah, and this is kind of related, Yanni, to your hook, right? In most cases, people have to decide whether they invest most of their efforts into making millions of dollars or having time to spend with family and hobbies. Yeah. This kind of leads into the concept that you can't, it's not always possible, although I do think it is, to do both. But I think that's the key to happiness in life, is I think that when you can find a way to make your hobbies into making money, then you can combine this, right? But again, as I said to Mal, we can't be too philosophical in IELTS. In IELTS, your goal is just to get a nice high band in your writing. So don't get too philosophical. Don't start to explain to your examiner or reader that you can do both. You can have time and you can make money as long as you can combine the two. It's too tricky and it's too complex. There's too many possibilities for making mistakes and for writing a very confusing essay. So you want to keep it simple here, okay? But on a personal note, I think that is the trick to life. Do what you love and learn to make money at it, okay? I love to teach. I love to help people to think and communicate, and I do this through teaching IELTS. So I'm a strong believer in that. Okay, so that's my background, and then now comes my thesis. Okay, and the thesis is just simple. I take what I've come up with, and this is why you should always come up with your thesis before. It's kind of, it seems like backwards thinking, like I come up with my thesis before I come up with the hook and the background, but yes, that's the best way, okay? The thesis is the cornerstone of your essay, so it's what your entire essay kind of balloons or builds on. So that's what you need to do, all right? Here we go. Here's the introductory paragraph. Whether a person chooses to make money or spend their time as they wish is likely one of the greatest dilemmas for every individual in life. In most cases, people have to decide whether they invest their efforts into making millions of dollars or having time to spend with family and hobbies. or having many hours. Let's, start to quantify. I believe that money is a tool and not a goal in life. However, having time to fulfill one's desires is the main objective because the amount is unknown and the happiness is relevant. Okay. All right. Now, body paragraph 1. Okay. So we're moving along nicely here. All right. Body paragraph 1, a little bit of a review for some, maybe new for others. Topic sentence plus explanation plus example. Okay. Plus a connecting sentence. Okay. All right. So I can reflect on money. I'm going to just do my topic sentence. The topic sentence is a deeper definition of the first point. So here, the amount is unknown. Okay, so we don't know how much time we have in life. Therefore, it's the most vital goal to have time to do what we want. This is what I need to express clearly or in another way, especially because in my thesis, it's a little bit ambiguous. So it's a little bit mysterious what I mean by the amount is unknown. So I want to make this very, very clear for my reader in my topic sentence. Okay? All right? Your topic sentence of your body paragraph 1 is basically where you as the author need to tell your reader very explicitly, very clearly what you are aiming to argue and express as your first point to support your position, to support your side of the argument. Okay? So whatever you've decided, go ahead, members, keep writing. Don't stop writing. You've been doing fantastic so far in the class. I want to continue seeing your sentences, your words. So keep going, okay? All right, so here I go. All right. All right, there we go. There's my topic sentence. So while the value of money is decided by society and the amount a person has is known to each individual, the years and months that a person has to live is ambiguous for all humans. And if I wanted to make this a really nice, long, complex sentence, I would probably go, therefore, it is arguably the most valuable commodity each one of us possesses. Okay? Right? I bet if I were to discover that I've got 1 hour to live, it would be the most valuable 1 hour. It would be worth billions in my life, right? I would spend every penny that I had to make sure that I have fun. No, I'd spend it with my family for sure, but it would be extremely valuable, right? So we can't put a price on our time on Earth because it's measured against how much we have, right? So while the value of money is decided by society and the amount a person has is known to each individual, the years and months that a person has to live is ambiguous for all humans. Therefore, it is arguably the most valuable commodity each one of us has, okay? Or each one of us possesses, okay? All right. superb vibe or superb videos. Don't write to commence with. It's way too template. And it's completely unnecessary. Notice, students, how I didn't say anything like firstly here. Or I didn't write anything like to commence with. Or I didn't write anything like to begin with. It has no value in this place. It's just zero value. I'm just wasting valuable time and words to write that. So in many cases, those leading expressions, they're not good. And when you get to university, you will notice that a lot of your professors despise those kinds of unnecessary leading expressions, okay? So did any of you feel like it was missing from my first sentence? Any of you feel like, oh, Adrian forgot to say to begin with? Why didn't he do that? Or were you just all like, oh, he didn't do that. Didn't even notice, right? So it's not necessary. I'm jumping right into it, right? The most, and everybody remember this, the most effective way to connect paragraphs is with information. First and foremost, information connects information, not leading expressions. Leading expressions can be helpful in certain contexts, but it's information that connects information where it's relevant, okay? All right, it's important, okay? All right, Superb Vibe says, to convince with, it is ostensibly seen that nowadays dwellers are more into making money than spending time with family and on their hobbies. I think you're going a bit off topic there. Superb videos. You need to reconsider that. It's not terrible, but you're kind of going into the open space of money versus time. Romelia, money is considered a key factor in achieving financial security and independence. Don't repeat yourself, Romelia. Financial security and independence are basically the same. Okay? However, the pursuit of money can also lead to stress and burnout, leaving little time for other aspects of life. Good. Okay. I like it. I would join, Romelia, the however there. So instead of starting a new sentence, I would use a semicolon, small h, however, the pursuit of money. Okay. Raquea, while the value of money is decided by society and the amount a person has is known to each individual, the years and months that a person has to live is ambiguous for all humans. Yeah, okay, Raquea, you're practicing by mimicry, and that's good. Okay, if you're like, hey, I want to just write what Adrian's writing so that I can practice that, it's good. Okay. Each one of us possesses, I have a typo or spelling mistake there, Raquea. Make sure you correct that, okay? All right. Romelia continues, time, on the other hand, is an irreplaceable and finite resource that once spent cannot be regained. Ooh, I like it, Romelia. I like it. Andrew says, money is worthless when it comes to such simple joys as having a loving spouse and kids to hug after an exerting day at work. Okay, I like it. I like where you're going with that, Andrew. I think it's good. Yanni, generally the amount of money is countable for each individual, whereas the years, months, and days a person has to live is unpredictable. Yes, Yanni, take out the how. Students, try to avoid using how, when within statements. Okay, usually you can take those words out and it reads better. So Yanni, very good. Just a couple of small corrections there. All right, now the explanation. Okay, so what am I talking about here, right? So I'm basically saying the main focus. So I'm always thinking about the original question. The main focus of life should be time, not money. Why? Because the amount is unknown, right? So I need to explain this, and then I need to give an example for this, right? Okay, so explanation. All right. So time spent with loved ones and doing favorite activities like playing football. Notice how I'm taking an activity that I know many people like to do, like playing football or watching a good movie. Okay, so again, what Andrew did in one of his previous sentences, his hook, is a very powerful technique in writing where you convince your audience or your reader by creating empathy with your reader. Okay, and when our readers are not known to us, we want to take ideas that are popular in society to create that empathy. Empathy means that they go, oh yeah, I really wanted to go play football today, or oh yeah, I really wanted to watch that movie, Avatar, The Way of the Water, but I just didn't have time because I was still at work, right? So we're creating this empathy. So time spent with loved ones and doing favorite activities like playing football or watching a good movie is difficult to measure in monetary value. So it is more important to take steps to achieve these while a person is capable, as no one can predict when life may be cut short by illness or accident. Okay, so that's my explanation. All right. Now, an example. Surely, if a person were to discover that today is, and if I'm writing first person, so here, clearly this is a first person voice essay, meaning that I'm using my own voice as the subjective voice of the author, and that means I'm using I, me, my. So here in the introduction, notice how I used I believe that money is a tool. So it is a good idea to reflect that throughout the essay in each paragraph. So instead of keeping my body paragraph third person as it is so far, I'm going to switch my example to first person. Okay. Surely, instead of if a person were to discover, if I were to discover that today is my last day on earth, I would choose to spend it playing games with my children and going for a walk with my wife rather than rushing off to work to make an extra buck. Okay, and then my connecting concluding sentence. Okay, I can simply say this is one of two important reasons for time to supersede money as life's main goal. Okay. All right. So now I have my body paragraph 1 from start to finish. And when you're practicing at home, students, you should always read and reread your essay as you're going through it. So you should reread each paragraph as you're finished, and you should reread even like the introduction and then body paragraph 1 before you do body paragraph 2. Once you're done body paragraph 2, you should reread introduction, body 1, body 2 before you do the conclusion. So you train your brain to have this kind of global perspective and flow with your writing. Okay. So here, let's just read body paragraph 1. While the value of money is decided by society and the amount a person has is known to each individual, the years and months that a person has to live is ambiguous for all humans. Therefore, it is arguably the most valuable commodity each one of us possesses. Time spent with loved ones and doing favorite activities like playing football or watching a good movie is difficult to measure in monetary value. So, it is more important to take steps to achieve these while a person is capable, as no one can predict when life may be cut short by illness or accident. Surely, if I were to discover that today is my last day on earth, I would choose to spend it playing games with my children and going for a walk with my wife rather than rushing off to work to make an extra buck. This is one of 2 important reasons for time to supersede money as life's main goal. All right, and now I'm ready for body 2. And body 2, for me, will focus on happiness being relevant. What does that mean? Well, you will be able to find that out. Okay. And of course, it's going to be related to time. Okay. So what I will do is over the next couple of days, I will finish this essay and I will post it on the YouTube community board. Students, if you haven't done this yet, definitely do check out our YouTube posts. We've got lots of posts for you every week to help you with vocabulary, to let you know of the live class schedules of what's going on. And other important strategies and tips. So go through that when you have a moment, and eventually in the next few days, you'll find the complete essay with body 2 and the conclusion there for this question as well. This is where I'm going to stop for this lesson today. And again, everybody, thank you for new members who joined up today. Make sure to send emails. Check out aehelp.com for academic IELTS, glshelp.com for general IELTS. That's where we have all of our materials, tips, strategies, courses that I was showing you. aehelp.com looks like this. When you go to the website, click on the big red button again. It's just right up there to join the premium IELTS package. It's a one-time payment. Lifetime access, just click on it. There you go, that's what you want to see. And general IELTS, again, right there, click on that red button right there and you are golden, okay? Members, thank you so much for your contributions. I see some really nice writing from many of you. Again, there's many ways to skin the cat, which means there's a lot of ways to write an essay. Just make sure you have the right flow of ideas and structure to convince your reader of your ideas and make it interesting. In English, of course, that's the trick. Thank you, everybody. Lots of members in the class today. Lovely to see all of you. I hope to see you in the next class, which will be coming up in 30 minutes. That will be listening parts 1 and 2 from exam 1 in our premium package. I will be back for that. That will be a subscribers chat class. So if you want to join the class, make sure to subscribe, and I will see you soon. Thank you, Carolina, and thank you, Sarah, for being in this class with us. Hopefully you'll join us to moderate the next class as well. Bye, everybody. See you soon.